Did you know that ChatGPT can create a travel itinerary for you so unique that it feels like it was literally personalized with you in mind? And at the same time, save you hours of stress with researching, developing, and designing a trip for you. Hopefully, it can also save you tons of money. But most people are asking the wrong question. So let me show you today how to ask the right questions to get an incredible and unique itinerary that is just for you and will save you time, stress, and money. Let's get into it. You might be wondering, well, why should I listen to you? Well, hi, I'm Bree. Welcome to Wander with Bree. This is the travel channel where we dive into all things travel and tech. And throughout this channel, over the past 6 months or so, I've dedicated my life to understanding AI tools, specifically AI chatbots like ChatGPT. I've taken my love of travel and integrated it with AI. And I would like to say at this point, I think I've pretty well mastered the prompt. So today we are going to dig in how to correctly use ChatGPT to get you exactly what you want. I've spent several hours testing what works, learning what doesn't work, refining, redirecting, and scripting prompts, and I'm going to share everything with you today. At the end of today's video, I have a special surprise for you, so stay tuned till the end. So today, I am sharing my own personal secrets, or let's call them hacks, because they're not really secrets, of how to make ChatGPT work for you, specifically how to create unforgettable travel experiences for yourself. Whether you're planning a dream vacation or just looking for some help on an itinerary, this video will help you figure out how to specifically craft and get the answers that you're looking for through ChatGPT. And I'll teach you how to craft prompts that will work better for you every time. By the end of this video, you will be able to use ChatGPT to craft your own itineraries, recommend hidden gems, and even create a packing list for you. So if you're Now, if you haven't seen any of my videos before, if this is your first video here, I will go ahead and tag a video up here that will help you. I have several videos on how to use AI to trip plan, how to point hack, and overall make you a better traveler and save you money traveling. So if you're interested in those, go ahead and click off, check one of those out, or come back. At the end of the video, we'll also recommend something for you that could be great as well. And really what we're looking for at the end of the day is authentic travel experiences that help us to be able to travel the way that we want to travel, not the way that some Joe Schmo tells us to travel in a travel blog or in a TripAdvisor review or Google review. I want to show you how to travel how you want to travel. The first thing to acknowledge is ChatGPT is not Google. In many ways, it is way smarter than Google, and we can be very specific with ChatGPT. So where most people fail with ChatGPT is by being too vague. Maybe you ask a question like, where should I go in Europe? Which admittedly, that can be really helpful if you really have no idea and you are truly, truly starting from scratch. ChatGPT could be a good option for that. You'll see we have options for sunny coastal escapes, historical and cultural adventures, city breaks, hidden gems, nature and outdoor adventures, and affordable spots. Okay, but let's say we'd rather be a little bit more specific and maybe you have an idea of where you would like to go. Let's try something a little different. Plan a 10-day itinerary to Spain that includes culinary adventures, historic landmarks, and the sea. Now, we are going into this prompt with much more information, so we are asking specifically, where should we go to meet our needs? Our needs are food, ocean, and history, right? Which, by the way, if you're food, ocean, and history person, same. So the suggestions here range from Barcelona to Girona, Costa Brava, and Valencia, and Seville or Sevilla. Now we're really getting into itinerary building. We're getting some actual specific ideas of where we should go. Now we have an itinerary that is more focused on the questions that we already have. Okay, but wait. Most people stop here. Don't stop here. We're going to keep going and dive in deeper. This is the part where a lot of people say, hey, this is good enough. I've learned a lot. I don't need anything else. That's not true. We are really going to make this work for us. So let's head on to the next step and get way more detailed. Let's get into some good examples here, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, let's plan a 3-day foodie trip to Tokyo. So plan a 3-day foodie trip to Tokyo with morning, afternoon, and evening activity. Very specific, saying what we wanted, how we wanted it to go. See what we come up with. Okay, day one, traditional flavors and street foods at Tsuchiki, Outer Market, explore the market, lunch at conveyor belt sushi spot, stroll through Asakusa, dinner at an izakaya and a nightcap. Day two, modern Japanese cuisine and unique experiences. So see how we are getting much more specific recommendations and not just, hey, go to this area or here are some general places that people might like, which is what you would get if you just typed into Google, where should I go in Tokyo, right? Now you're getting very specific places, whether you should have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And there's a nightcap, which is so cool. Michelin stars and local favorites on day three. This is fantastic. So now you can see when we are getting more detailed with our prompts, and we are saying very specifically, this is what we are looking for, a foodie tour, right? Then it works out better for us. Now, pro tip, do this for yourself, whatever it is that you're interested in. If it's history, if it's mountain biking, if it's hiking, if it's foodie tours like this, make sure that you craft your prompt specifically for what it is that you are looking for. That's how you're going to get your unique boutique itinerary. Let's add a constraint because looking at days 1, 2, and 3, holy crap, that's going to be expensive. Can you make it budget friendly? This is the beautiful thing about asynchronous communication with ChatGPT. You can enter something and then you don't have to say, hey, take this itinerary again and make it a little bit cheaper, or ask it again, or sit down with pen and paper, like this guy that I live for. You can just say, hey, this needs to be cheaper. And here we go. So now we've got our morning, afternoon, and evening, and our specific cost per meal. That is incredible. Aha! Breakfast at a convenience store one of the mornings in Harajuku. That's cool. I did breakfast, lunch, and dinner at several convenience stores. Actually, every time I see a 7-Eleven sign here in Arizona, I get really sad because it's just not the same. Budget Michelin star and food markets. Very cool. Here's another interesting thing. Because we prompted ChatGPT and said, hey, we need help with our budget, down at the bottom, you'll see budget tips, food, activities, and a coffee. So use a prepaid pass card, convenience stores, attractions that are free, accommodation. Would you like suggestions for affordable accommodations or specific budget-friendly places? So you can continue to go down that rabbit hole if you'd like to. I'd like to show you another example. So now that we have a general idea how to do an itinerary and sort of how to go down that rabbit hole, say you're building this trip for you and your friends and you want to show them something really cool. I mean, heck, we want to show ourselves something really cool, right? Okay, what are 5 underrated day trips near Tokyo for history buffs? Let's check it out. Hi, Ollie. He hears me talking, and so he's like, "You talk to me too?" So when you're looking for hidden gems, you don't just say, hey, give me a hidden gem for Tokyo. Give me 5 specific underrated places. So places that maybe aren't highly reviewed, that not a lot of people talk about, or perhaps, somewhere on the internet that people have talked about it who live there local. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 very specific recommendations of exactly where we can go, the nickname in English, highlights of this place, and travel time from Tokyo. So you can see how this is a nice complement to the itinerary that you're already starting to build. And again, you want to ask for your specific interests. So in this case, I asked for history. You may ask for something like for street food. You may ask for botanical gardens, mountaintop, long walks. There's this beautiful walk that goes throughout the country of Japan, or bike ride that goes throughout the country of Japan you could ask about. So be specific in what your interests are. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is before you begin this search to look into, what do you want? How is it that you want to travel? What is it that you want to see? Why do you want to go to these places? For me, going to Japan was all about the cherry blossoms. So I wanted to know the best way to see cherry blossoms when I was there in early April. And to my surprise, it was Osaka Castle. It was the only place I saw them. So take a few minutes before every trip that you're planning and sit down and ask yourself, what do I like when I travel? What do I want to do when I travel? In my mind, there are 2 different types of travelers. There are active explorers and active relaxers. I tend to be about 50-50 on every trip. So maybe you go day by day by day to all these historic sites, and then you want to go to an onsen and you want to relax, or you want a massage, or you want a scalp massage, something that's really rare. So ask yourself, what is it that you want? And then start asking the questions of ChatGPT. So now that you are building your itinerary, you have some hidden gems that you can sort of sprinkle in there. Let's talk a little bit about your packing. So one of the most overwhelming things for me when I am preparing for a trip is figuring out what I should bring with me and then obsessing over whether or not I have the right outfit. So let's ask ChatGPT for help. We're going to stay in the same thread. Create a packing list for a 7-day trip to Tokyo in the winter. Okay, Tokyo winters are cool and crisp with temperatures ranging from 2 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. Layers are key for comfort as you explore the city's outdoor sites and cozy indoor spaces. Now, we have this list now specifically telling us tops, bottoms, outerwear, undergarments, sleepwear, accessories, footwear, toiletries, and personal care, right? This is fantastic. Now, I have told you guys in a video previously that you can do this, but I want to remind you that you can. Pro tip, you want to be able to export this to an Excel or to a Google Sheets document. That's my preference. So I asked, please create an Excel or Google Sheets document where I can export my packing list. There are also other packing apps that you can use that you might find more helpful. For me personally, I tend to do just about everything in Google Sheets because I can access it on my phone and download it. But I will go ahead and link the apps here that you could also use in conjunction with this as well if you're looking for a nice packing app or a travel packing app. So it's really interesting. So I had to struggle a little bit with the columns. I've never had this happen before. So it was having a hard time formulating it. So I just gave it a little bit more detail. I said, please create a simple spreadsheet on this app where it outlines the items to pack and a column to check them off. So sometimes you'll run into this with some GPTs. And so for me, I just know, okay, I need to give it better directions. And so I gave it better directions and here we go. You have your packing list specifically for this trip to Japan. Okay, cool. So now I've shown you how to dig a little bit deeper, to go a little bit further than most people do. Now stick around because now I'm going to show you how to make ChatGPT work even harder for you. So now that we've gone through the basics, we've sort of dug a little bit deeper than the basics. We've gone deeper than the average ChatGPT user does. This is the part that I've been teasing you guys about all along. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the actual advanced user hack of ChatGPT. Think budget breakdowns and personalized hotel recommendations. All right, so let's get into some advanced tips for even better results. So like I said, people typically stop 3 steps ago. We are master users of ChatGPT, so here's what we're going to do. I would like to know a little bit more about how to get from place to place, how long it's going to get from place to place, because I don't know if I get off the train, how far it is to get to my hotel. Should I drag my little luggage behind me? I'm not sure. You can always use apps like Rome to Rio if you're interested in that, but why do that when you've got it right in front of you right now? So here's the question that I asked. This is the prompt that I want you to use. Can you expand on this itinerary with costs and travel times? And here we go. Here's the expanded 7-day Tokyo winter packing trip. Winter trip packing itinerary, including estimated costs and travel times. Costs are based on average prices and could vary based on your preference and circumstance. Okay, day 1, arrival in Tokyo. Now, this is also going to help us figure out where we want to fly into. This is going to help us look at which airlines we want to book. This is also going to help us book our hotels and figure out which part of the city we want to stay in. This is giving very specific travel time to specific areas and where it's recommending we go from Tokyo on each day of the trip. I'm just going to scroll through here so that you can look at it. Feel free to come back, rewatch this. Again, this will be linked in the description for you as well if you're looking for Tokyo specifically. And man, if it is, this is your lucky day. Okay. This is probably the most important part to me as a traveler and as I am planning travel, and I would assume for you as well, is we are now looking at the total approximate cost of this entire trip. So let's say $500 for budget hotels, $250 for food, $140 for transport, excluding the JR pass, which is a whole other conversation, and activities. So let's call that 100, 200, 500,000. So do I actually think it'll be only $1,000 for a week in Japan? No. But I do think this gives us a really good idea. And maybe because I'm a shopper too. They're antiques markets and vintage clothing is bar none. Very cool. And then at the bottom, you'll see, would you like adjustments to itinerary or further details on any specific day? We're good. Okay, so let's say that this $1,000 budget, I just don't really buy it, right? So I would like some more specific help. So here's how you can take it one step deeper. We want specific recommendations under a certain price point in Tokyo. So here's the prompt that you can use. What are the best boutique hotels in Kyoto for under $150 a night? Okay, and here are the highly rated boutique hotels in Kyoto that offer charm, excellent value, all within a budget of $150 per night. Buddha Terrace, the gallery. We've got price range, highlights, facilities, and proximity, all broken up for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different recommendations. Now, the recommendations give you the highlights again of why you potentially might want to stay in that location, and then also the proximity to where you're actually going to be staying. These hotels offer a great balance of traditional Japanese charm, comfort, and budget-friendly pricing. Depending on your preferences, you'll find a variety of atmosphere ranging from minimalist, modern to classic ryokan experiences. Let's say you see one of these that you really like. So then you say, yes, I would like specific details on Gyan Hatanaka. And then you ask for additional questions there, and you continue to go down the rabbit hole that way. All right, and then these last two tips are things that I could almost guarantee you haven't heard of. If you've spent a lot of time in the AI space, maybe, but let's get into a really interesting one. ChatGPT, again, is a contextual text-based system that has asynchronous communication. So let's say we are trying to put together a formal proposal to our family. Let's say you're trying to put together a really professional presentation of where you would like to go. So a friend of mine, Tisha, looking at you, her family goes on a family vacation every year. It's a really cool thing. And all of her kids come together, including the parents, the kids, the now husbands or partners in the family will actually do an entire PowerPoint presentation to explain why they think that a specific place is where they should go. So, Tisha, this tip is for you. Don't tell your family members, it'll give you a leg up. So, here's what you can do. You can ask ChatGPT to respond to you in a specific way. I'm going to say respond as a travel agent who specializes in family vacation. Now, since we were talking about Kyoto, it specifically responded as a travel agent who specializes in family vacations for Kyoto. You'll see how the family-friendly trip to Kyoto is laid out. Day 1, arrival and relaxation. Day 2, exploring the natural beauty and history of Kyoto. Day 3, Kyoto's culture and fun for kids. Day 4, a day of adventure. Day 5, Day 6, Day 7, accommodation recommendations, specific transportation, child-friendly activities. So you could take a piece of this and put it into a proposal. You could literally copy and paste this entire thing. Now, at the very bottom, you'll see, would you like me to tailor any part of this trip to your family's specific interests or needs? Now, you know that you can. From all the other things that we have already reviewed, of all the specific questions that you can ask, you know that you can get super specific in your itinerary. So tailor this to your own needs. Now, the last tip is going to blow your minds. This is for those of you that have been using ChatGPT for a little while, not maybe your first time ever using ChatGPT, because ChatGPT does remember things about you. It has a memory. It stores who you are, the things you ask for, any input that you put into it. Okay. So you could theoretically say, here are all the things I'm interested in, plan a trip for me. Right. But here's what I really like. We're actually going to start a new text thread. Now it's off the recorded part of the screen here, so you're not going to see me, but it's up on the top left corner for you. Now here is my prompt. Okay. Suggest a destination based on my interest, then create a 1-week itinerary for this destination. This is the equivalent of going up to the bartender and going, I want something sweet and fruity, and getting what you want, right? Sorry for all the bartenders out there. I know you guys hate that stuff, but like, come on. Okay, so based on your interest in travel, adventure, and authenticity, along with your focus on a mix of bougie, anti, and nomad travel style, I suggest Lisbon, Portugal. Now, listen, I've been using ChatGPT for a while. I have like 4 different accounts. So clearly, ChatGPT has a pretty good idea of who I am at this point. It offers a fantastic combination of relaxed, authentic experiences, cultural immersion, and opportunities for both bougie and more nomadic exploration. From historic neighborhoods to incredible food, beautiful views, and cozy seaside vibes, it seems to align with your travel style. It is like 100% my travel style. We actually have a bunch of things on the list of where we want to go, and Lisbon has been on that list for a long time, but I guess it just got moved up to the top. And it provides a 1-week itinerary for Lisbon, Portugal, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And then what I can do is I can follow our steps from here for digging in a little bit deeper. So now I know I can ask for additional things like itinerary creation. I can ask for hidden gems. I can ask for budget. I can ask for specific hotels. I can ask for other events. I can ask for hiking things. I can ask for wine trips, right? So now I know I can really and ask all of the specific questions. And then I can ask them to put it in a beautiful table for me. I can also ask ChatGPT to speak to me like it was a travel guide speaking to a bougie auntie slash nomad. And I can put this together and I can pitch it to my friends. I can pitch it to my family, to my husband, anybody who I'm trying to get to go on this trip with me, right? So now we know there are all these steps that we can take to make ChatGPT create this boutique and incredible experience for us. So again, I will also link this Portugal guide down below as well. If maybe this is something, maybe you are listening to Tokyo going, man, really want to go to Lisbon. Well, hey, bingo, I got you. So don't leave yet. I have one final ChatGPT pro tip that you never saw coming, and it will completely change your travel. Here's one thing to keep in mind. ChatGPT, being a language-based model, is an incredible interpreter. Let's say you want to know where to go in Tokyo and you want to ask somebody standing next to you who does not speak English fluently or comfortably enough to be able to interact with you in your native language, which I'm assuming you're comfortable in English watching this video. You can actually type into ChatGPT what you want to know. Hey, do you have a place that you would recommend I go to for tea this afternoon? And you can type that in there. And instead of Google Translate, which Google Translate can be very effective at giving you the correct words, but it doesn't always get the right cultural norms. It doesn't always use the correct colloquialisms. So you can actually say, how do I say this in Japanese? And please write out the pronunciation for me. And you can highlight that and show it directly to them or try to pronounce it. We are pro users of ChatGPT. So when you're using ChatGPT, let's recap what we've learned. You are going to go deeper than just asking, plan me a trip. Now we know to be specific and we know to be detailed in our prompts. We know to dig 2, 3, 4 layers deeper and to use follow-ups and layered questions for finding the unique boutique travel experience that you want. Make sure that you're asking questions that relate to you. Make sure you're doing the brainstorming in advance to figure out, well, I don't know what I'm interested in. We know how to use ChatGPT to create the travel plans that work specifically for us. And we know how to travel smarter. And we know how to budget it. We know how to put it in Excel. We know how to follow up. If you learned something from this video, please feel free to comment down below. If there's a hack that I left out or a prompt that you love, please share it with the community. Together, we're growing this awesome community of people who are smarter travelers, who know how to hack and travel the way that we love to travel. If this is a video that you really liked, please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share this with friends, family, anybody who you think might benefit from this video. Thank you so much for being here. We are a growing community. It is always my pleasure to be here to learn from you and to teach you. If you have a destination in mind and you're curious about destination planning, or if you'd like me to go into depth in another destination, please drop a comment down below. I am more than happy to run through this over any other destination. If you're interested in more videos like this, please feel free to check out the linked video at the end of this video or any of the other cards that I've linked in here, or just hop onto the Wander with Bree page and you'll see lots of videos on how to hack travel, how to use your points and miles, and also how to create itineraries like this. I think at this point, I've probably reviewed something like, I don't know, 20 different AI apps and tools. In the next couple of weeks, I'll also be putting together a video of exactly how I plan my trip and I workflow it from point A to point Z, and I will be sharing that with you as well. Have a wonderful weekend, morning, evening, whatever it is that's out in front of you guys. We'll see you next week.